She's been showing you for weeks. Every morning he replays the same interactions in his head. He goes over what she said, how she laughed, whether she held eye contact a second too long. He analyzes, he second-guesses, he asks his friends, he searches the internet. And the whole time, she's sitting across town wondering why he hasn't made a move yet. Most men are looking for the signal they imagine attraction looks like. The bold move, the unmistakable sign, the moment where she makes it undeniable. That signal almost never comes. What does come, consistently, unmistakably, once you know what you're looking for, are 7 specific behaviors that women display when they're attracted to someone and working very hard not to show it. I'm a woman. I know these signs because I have done every single one of them. Let me show you what they look like. I want to tell you about a man named Caleb. Caleb had been working at the same company as a woman named Diane for about 3 months. They weren't on the same team. They'd met at a company lunch, talked for about 20 minutes, and after that had exchanged the occasional smile in the hallway and a few messages in the company chat. Nothing obvious, nothing dramatic. But over the course of those 3 months, Caleb had noticed things he wasn't sure how to interpret. Diane seemed to end up near him at the coffee machine with a frequency that didn't feel entirely random. When they were both in a group conversation, she'd sometimes address her comments specifically to him. She remembered details from things he'd said weeks earlier and brought them back unprompted. Once, in a large group meeting, he caught her looking at him from across the room. She looked away immediately. But 2 minutes later, he looked up and she was looking again. And this time she held it for just a second before turning back to her screen. Caleb thought she might be interested, but he wasn't sure. "I don't want to misread it and make it weird," he told a friend. So he waited, and waited, for something clearer. And Diane, sitting on her side of the office, doing the exact same signals she'd always done, eventually concluded he wasn't interested. She moved on. Caleb didn't have a reading problem. He had a vocabulary problem. He was looking for words he recognized. She was writing in a language he'd never been taught. "Today I'm going to teach it to you. All 7 signs. Before I give you the list, I need to explain something about why female attraction signals look the way they do. When a woman is attracted to someone, she faces a risk calculation that men rarely have to make in the same way. Displaying interest too openly, too early, exposes her to social vulnerability, the possibility of rejection made public, the possibility of misreading the situation, the possibility of handing emotional power to someone before she knows if it's safe. She's interested. She's also protecting herself. Both things are true at once. So what women do, almost universally, and largely without conscious intention, is communicate interest through signals that are real but deniable. Signals that could, if challenged, always be explained away as something else. What makes these signals reliable is not any single one in isolation. It's the pattern. It's the fact that they cluster around one specific person, you, and appear repeatedly across different contexts over time. One coincidence is coincidence. 7 coincidences, all pointing in the same direction, is a message. Here's what that message looks like. Sign 1. She keeps ending up near you, and the reasons are always plausible. The same coffee run. The same timing in the parking lot. She's in the part of the room where you are, not where she normally is. None of it looks deliberate. All of it is. Women are very aware of where they position themselves in space, especially around someone they have feelings about. Every proximity that feels like coincidence is a small decision she made, probably without fully realizing she made it. One proximity, chance. 3 or more across different situations, intention. Sign 2. She remembers things you said, small things, things you barely remember saying yourself. The name of your dog, something you mentioned once about a place you wanted to visit, a band you said you liked 3 weeks ago. Memory is never neutral. We remember the things and the people that matter to us. If she is storing your words, she is storing you. When she brings back a detail unprompted, she is showing you that she has been thinking about you since she heard it. Sign 3. You catch her looking and she looks away. This one sounds almost too simple. but it is one of the most reliable signals in the entire set. It requires a very specific sequence of events. She was looking at you when she thought you weren't watching. She got caught, and her instinct was to immediately redirect her gaze. If she had no feelings, being caught looking would produce no particular reaction. It is the caught part, the slight widening of the eyes, the immediate redirect, that reveals what the looking meant. And if she looks back again 2 minutes later, that is not an accident. That is someone who is trying not to look and failing because the pull is stronger than the effort to conceal it. Sign 4. Her behavior around you is slightly different than her behavior everywhere else. She talks a little faster than usual. She laughs before a joke has fully landed. She touches her hair or her face while you're talking. She fills silences in a way she doesn't with other people. This nervousness is not discomfort. It is the physical manifestation of caring very much about how this particular interaction goes. The person we are completely indifferent to does not make us stumble over our words. The person who matters does. Sign 5. She creates opportunities without creating invitations. She mentions she'll be somewhere without asking you to come. She replies to something in a group chat privately without making it an obvious direct message. She puts herself in situations where running into you is possible without engineering it so obviously that she can't deny the intention. This is the art of the non-invitation invitation. She is opening a door and stepping back, watching to see if you'll walk through on your own. Sign 6. Her friends know who you are before you've met them. You meet someone in her life, and they already know your name. They already know something about you. They have the slightly amused expression of people who have heard about you more than once. Women do not bring up people they're indifferent to in their personal conversations. If you have become a recurring topic in her private life, she has been talking about you. What people talk about in private is what occupies their mind. Sign 7. She mentions other women and watches your face. When a woman is attracted to someone and not yet sure if the feeling is reciprocated, she will sometimes introduce the topic of other women, casually, naturally, and then observe very carefully how you respond. She is not doing this out of insecurity. She is gathering information. She wants to know if you're available and whether the mention of another woman produces any reaction she can read. If you notice her doing this, it means she cares enough about your answer to ask the question, just in a language most men never learn to hear. 2 things I need you to watch out for as you take this in. First, don't look for these signs so hard that you start seeing them where they're not. The key word across every single one of these signals is pattern, not one instance. A cluster of these behaviors, directed consistently at you, over a period of time. 1 signal is noise. 7 signals is a message. A woman who is simply warm or socially confident might display 1 or 2 of these with everyone. The woman who is attracted to you specifically will display most of them, but only around you. That specificity is what makes them meaningful. Second, don't use this knowledge to wait even longer. The purpose of understanding these signs is not to give you more to think about. It's to give you the confidence to move when the evidence is already in front of you. She is not going to keep signaling indefinitely. At a certain point, and Diane's story is the proof, she concludes you're not interested and she redirects her energy. The window is real. When you see the pattern, act on it. Caleb never made a move. Not because he wasn't interested, not because the signs weren't there. They were, all of them, for months. Because he was waiting for something she wasn't able to give him yet. Something that only comes after he acts, not before. He was waiting for certainty, and certainty in attraction is not handed out before you've shown that you can handle uncertainty. The 7 signs I've given you today are not a guarantee. They are a probability, a collection of evidence that, when they cluster together around you, means the probability has shifted significantly in one direction. Act on probabilities. That's what men who don't miss their moments do. She's been telling you. Now you finally speak the language. Drop a comment. Tell me which of the 7 signs you've been seeing and didn't know how to read. I want to know. And subscribe, because next video, we're going into something equally important. Why women test the men they're most attracted to, what they're actually looking for when they do, and the one thing that separates the men who pass from the men who don't. That one is powerful. I'll see you then.